It's New Brew Thursday! Woo! And it's IPA Day! Woo!
And so we're John Holzer!
Woo! We're not doing that anymore, I promise. So it's IPA Day. It's International IPA Day. It's a party. It's an extravaganza. So we're throwing a party, and this is all the friends that we have in the world.
Like, this is not even the beginning. Well,
it's
the beginning.
Yeah,
it's not the end.
Yeah, this is like the most beer that we've ever done on an episode ever of all time. So excited. We will probably all be drunk and naked by the end of the show.
No, we won't.
Just as an aside. But since we have a lot of beers, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start off with Founders. Founders is a great brewery from the Michigan area. You may know them from such great beers as KBS and the eternally sought after CBS, which is the Canadian Breakfast Stout.
Yeah, KBS is Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
Yes, and CBS, I believe, is draft only. So you have to actually find that on draft. But as all good craft breweries, they also do an extensive line of IPA beers. So we're going to be doing, the first one is their Centennial IPA.
And since this is IPA Day, I'm sure a lot of people here already know what IPAs are, but in case you don't, IPAs are India Pale Ales. It's a style of beer that originated in Britain, I guess, right?
Yeah, the English. Because they were shipping beers long distances.
When they were masters of the universe, they were shipping beer everywhere, and one of those places was India. And by the time the beer would get there, it would be bad. So they decided to hop it some more to kind of preserve the beer. It made it extra bitter, and people actually liked it. So it turned into a...
And they were beers that were being specifically shipped to India. So they became India Pale Ales.
India Pale Ale. Yeah.
Cheers to IPA Day real quick.
IPA.
Cheers.
Hello.
Cheers. Okay. Over here, show some love. You two, I want to see if this happens. Make this happen. Make it happen. There it is. Boom.
That was sexy.
So, cheers to IPA Day. Oh, that's really good. This is it is 65 IBUs. It's 7.2% alcohol, which it says a lot about the IPAs that we're accustomed to now. 65 IBUs is a lot of IBUs for an IPA.
Yeah.
And this is just a single IPA. You know, when you get into the doubles and triples... And, it's said that, like, the human tongue can't differentiate anything above 100. Mm-hmm. Like, 100 is the most you can actually taste. But there are beers that come out with, like, 112 or 120 or, Micheler's 1,000 IBUs.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things that...
100 is also the top of the scale, like,
right.
Well, supposedly that's, like, the maximum, like, soluble IBUs. Because, like, when you punch in all of the numbers, you do all the calculations, there's, like, calculated IBUs. And that's where you get, 130 IBUs or 1,000 IBUs or whatever. Okay. But I think, like, there have been studies where you can only actually get so much alpha acids, which is where the bitterness in the beer comes from. Hops have alpha acids, which contribute bitterness. But there's, like, only so much that can actually stay in the beer or get into the beer itself. Right. But again, this is all kind of...
Look at the brain on Matt. All right.
One thing we should also say, too, is this beer is also... part of a trend which I love, not necessarily a trend, but this is, I believe, a single hop.
Single hop, yeah. This is Centennial hopped only.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it gets the name, is Centennial hops, which is one of my favorites.
We move on. We have guests, by the way.
Oh yeah, these two guys here.
This is my brother Aaron. You've seen him before on the show.
He's also my roommate.
Yeah.
Hey Aaron, what's up?
Hey. And we're filming in his kitchen, and this is Eric. It's a good friend of ours. So he's been around. He was our cameraman for a little while.
You guys just can't seem to hold on to camera.
I had to go to school.
Yeah, seriously. They've both actually been our cameraman at one point or another.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is really good. I didn't know what to expect from this. Mm-hmm. It tastes very fresh.
Yeah, you get a lot of citrus off the Centennial.
Yeah.
It's got really a great aroma to it. Yeah.
The maltiness of it, it's perfect.
This is I see this as like a good. It's not sessionable because it's 7.2% alcohol, but I can see drinking several of these on like a hot day. Just kind of out by a pool or whatever, and feeling refreshed.
Yeah, it goes down really smooth. It actually has a nice balance to it. I mean, a lot of times in Southern California IPAs, you find that they are just ridiculously dry, but this one has a little bit of residual sugar left over, so it's nice and tasty.
So moving right along, we're going to go into what is known as a double IPA, and this is also from Founders. This is the Double Trouble.
Double Trouble.
And this one here, this is 86 IBUs, and it's 9.4% ABV, which so we're getting. And technically, on the single double level, there is, according to the BJCP, The only thing that's recognized as styles are single and doubles.
Right.
There is kind of a movement afoot to try to get triple and Imperial to be noticed as well, because as you'll see from today, we're doing at least one triple IPA. And Pliny the Younger is probably the most well-known triple IPA.
It's like 11%,
11,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I think like they're trying to say like, 10% and above is like the triple.
Right.
What have you. But I'm getting a lot more like grapefruit. It has, surprisingly, for being a bigger beer, it has a lot brighter citrus aroma.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
I like this. The specs off the beer, they call it pungent. And I don't know if I'd go pungent. I mean, I know what they're saying off of that. But I get, I guess pungent citrus would be a good way to describe it. Like it's, but pungent always comes across as negative to me. And there's nothing negative on this aroma.
Yeah, I don't know. I always see pungent as being like forceful with its aroma. You know what I mean? Which I think is a good thing. Actually, it's funny because you find that with Columbus hops a lot. Like they'll be like, Columbus hops, aroma description, pungent.
Yeah.
But the bitterness is like a lot like more firm, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
More upfront.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for being as big a beer as this is in the 9 range, normally when you get into the 9 range of beers, especially when it's a pale beer, it gets a lot more malt forward and a lot more fusel on the taste. This is actually very refreshing for a 9% beer.
Yeah, it's nice because if you, there's not much of my glass left, but the color on this is a lot paler than the last one. And I think it's just because when you get this big, it's really easy to have a lot of residual sweetness left over. Right. If you find with a lot of the really big IPAs, you got to drink them right away, or else they start to get this really huge caramelly sweetness, which is good. It's one of those
barley wine base.
Right. And speaking of which, we're going to be going into the triple, which this will be a lot heavier in alcohol. This will be a lot more malt forward than hop forward. And trying to be.
We shall see. I think I've had this one time before. Has anybody else had this one?
I have had this one as well. This came as a bottle share.
Never had it. Devil Dancer.
Double Dancer triple IPA.
Wow.
I like the name first of all. And this is 112 IBUs and it's 12% alcohol. So I mean, this is not a beer that you go into lightly.
Yeah.
This is a beer that you sit down and enjoy and share with even a 12 ounce like that. You share that. That's not.
Oh, I'm surprised at I'm not surprised, but this has really got a nice nose on it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of complexity to it too. It's
Do you get some oak off of that? Or is that
I can see that, a little bit of that cinnamon sort of woodiness.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah.
That's, I think when I said spicy, maybe it's the cinnamoniness.
Yeah.
I can see that. I'm also getting almost like a dank, danky dank kind of thing off of it. You know what I mean?
His skank was dank. What's up? Dank skank. Ooh, that's a good name for a band.
Oh, but wow. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of flavor in this beer. Wow. And this is like I said, definitely this is not a beer that I could sit and just drink a bottle of, and it's something I would have to share. I mean, I could, but I mean, I'd be really happy with life at that point.
No, you know
The
what?
result would be something else.
Yeah, it'd be like, woo! I just drank a whole bottle.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Founders though. It's not too sweet. It's not too heavy. It's it's still
It's very all of these have been very drinkable. Yeah.
I'm getting that bitter pucker though. It's a big beer. You don't want to mess around with this beer.
Yeah, this is definitely not to be underestimated. Good job, Founders.
Good job, Fountain. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well said, sir. High five on that.
Yeah, dude.
Founders,
Delicious
you
all
rock.
around. Yeah.
Thank you for sending us the beer, by the way. And it should be noted that all of the beers that we're doing on the show were sent to us by the breweries. There were 10 breweries involved with IPA Day. I want to give a special shout out to the Beer Wench and Ryan Ross from Carl Strauss, who were the co-genitors. Is that the right word?
Co-conspirators.
Co-organizers, yes, of this event. It is their brainchild, and I've never been happier in my life to be a part of something, so thank you very much. And I think now we're going to go through Sweetwater.
Sweetwater is from Georgia.
Yes, so I like what we're doing here is awesome because we have, we have West Coast being represented by Carl Strauss. We have the Midwest being represented by Founders and New Holland. We have the East Coast being represented by Sweetwater, and we have the international side of things being represented by Epic Brewing. So we're kind of covering all the bases tonight.
Yeah, covered a good base, yeah.
This is definitely more on the sweet side of an IPA for me.
Yeah.
Not in a a barley wine kind of sweet, but more
Right.
of, like,
It's more malt
it's just
forward,
sweet.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's got a nice residual sweetness to it that doesn't stick. Mm-hmm. It's not like a sticky sweetness where you're like, ooh,
No, it's
get off the roof of my mouth.
yeah, it's very
like
clean.
really-
Yeah, it's very clean. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's a nice. It's almost like a sweetened iced tea.
I was just gonna say that because that's what you feel, going
Yeah.
after. It's just really smooth and gives you like an iced tea taste.
Yeah.
I could, if I lived in Georgia, this would be my pool beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know this
Great
stuff is probably
example.
like all over the place out there. So.
Oh yeah, seriously.
Lucky Georgians.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're kind of going for with this show is that it's like if you're in these areas, a lot of these beers are very easily accessible. I know Sweetwater IPA is everywhere in Georgia. Founders IPA and Mad Hatter. If you're in Michigan, you are lucky sons of bitches because you can get these beers. If you're in New Zealand, you're good with Epic. But he's working very hard
You
to
mean
get over here.
New Holland, or you said Mad Hatter?
Mad Hatter, yeah.
Mad Hatter from New Holland.
Mad Hatter, the Mad Hatter line of beers from New Holland, right?
I'm getting actually a nice, like, kind of floral character that I wasn't quite getting. Like the founders, it seemed were more like citrus forward. This one, it seems more like floral, more of that like white flower kind of character.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I really like about IPAs is that when you're drinking a stout, it's either dry or not dry. If you're drinking an Imperial Russian stout, it's either stickly sweet or not. It may have some coffee. It may have more chocolate. But you're very
You basically know what you're getting into.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into. With an IPA, it's like the range of hops that you can use. You can create like one IPA can be herbal, one can be extremely floral, one can be like citrusy, one can be a lemon bomb. Like
Yeah.
there's so many different things you can do with an IPA. I really honestly believe it's one of the most versatile styles of beer you can make.
Yeah, there's so many varieties of hop out there that, I mean, like I said, even like with the Centennial, if you use one hop, then you can get an amazing amount of complexity just out
Right.
of one hop,
Yeah.
But good job, Sweetwater.
Now we're going to go into the New Holland line, which I have turned around because you can't see. Now this is just for me now.
He just really wants to read labels.
I do. I just want to see what I'm pouring.
It's gonna be a surprise.
We're gonna start with their
cool.
India Pale Ale. This is actually the probably the only real sessionable one we have, which is 5.2, I think.
What's it called?
This is just the Mad Hatter India Pale Ale.
Okay.
It's part of their Mad Hatter series of IPAs, which we'll be drinking all of tonight.
Yes, we will.
Oh, that smells really good. I get a little bit of I get like you were saying earlier, I get a little bit of the weed off the smell. Like fresh weed, not burnt weed. Not that I have any idea what any of that smells like, because people who smoke weed are bad.
I'd say it's more of a sativa than an indica.
I get like
maybe
a lemon
60-40
haze
sativa.
maybe off of it.
Not even an Afghan blend?
Yeah, no, it's cushy. It's cushy.
Cushy. No, it's got that nice kind of like sweet floral aroma.
Yeah, exactly.
You
It's got
kind
that,
of
like, that
kind of
dank floral.
Yeah, you kind of associate that with weed, even though it's really not. But
Yeah, it's almost that like Columbus thing. That's what I'm just like throwing out these hop varieties like I know what I'm talking about. Like this is gonna have Columbus in it, but it probably doesn't.
they're
Like,
like,
that's
New Holland's watching this like, there's no Columbus in that. Who is this guy? Why is he on their show?
I definitely get
We ask that question every week.
misinformation.
You go what?
That's why I'm
more
here.
citrus taste off of this than the other stuff that we've had.
Yeah.
More of
Definitely.
a lemon.
Yeah, I definitely get some lemon on it.
What's
Absolutely.
the alcohol on this?
5.5, 5.25, something like that. It's in that
It's
range.
low.
Yeah, all of the Mad Hatter series are fairly low in alcohol.
Yeah,
I think the
5.25.
highest is like 7.2.
Yeah, it's no, you're right because like you said, I get more of that like dankiness, but it does have that really bright like citrus character on the
Yeah.
palate for sure. Like
Yeah,
It's tasty for
got
damn
some,
sure.
Some
It's
maltiness on the back end that, kind
Smooth. It's like you're not gonna go.
Yeah.
It's
not- it's not too bitter.
or stuff like that.
of yeah.
This
So-
you can give to somebody new that hasn't really
yeah,
never
exactly.
tried an IPA and go, here, try this. You can even have a sip and you might go,
Maybe
Yeah.
they won't be
they
afraid.
might not be afraid of trying it out. So
That was good.
That was very good.
Yeah, this is probably the driest that we've had so far too. I think.
Next up is the Imperial Mad Hatter, and this is 76 IBUs, and I think this is 9.4.
Wow. That's a step.
So this is a step up, yes.
They weren't kidding.
yeah.
They're not messing around with that one. Oh,
Go
by
to
the
the
way,
last
I have to say, like, as a home brewer, I really love the idea of New Holland taking like a base recipe and just screwing with it in every way possible. We literally have 6 different versions of the same beer. That is awesome.
Yeah, and I like as you know, let's focus on this. But there's some beers here that I was like, really? You can do that with an IPA? Mm-hmm. That's really still an IPA? All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah. So the Imperial version is
Ooh,
lovely.
yeah, that's got a good nose on it too.
I mean, you
That
can
one I get a
define
lot more floral off of than the last one.
Yeah. I can see
Yeah.
that. It's not.
Well, and we talked a little bit about freshness earlier, and the nice thing is that because the brewery sent us this beer directly for this show, all of these beers are about as fresh as you can get.
Yeah, we're very lucky for that.
Yeah.
especially-
So
Yeah.
again, we can't say thank you enough for that. By the way,
They're from another part of the continent, you know, and it's
Right.
very rare that even like Dogfish Head that you get super fresh like 60-minute IPA.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
It's not as fresh as if you
transport
got
and
it
all that
in
kind of stuff.
Delaware,
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't help that, but it's nice when you get them directly from the brewery. So I mean, if you're in the New Holland or Founders or Sweetwater area, definitely hit up your brewery and buy these bottles direct sometime
And on the
because
same note, if you get a bottle of IPA from someone on the East Coast and it's not good, don't judge them off that bottle.
Seriously,
if you're on the
that's-
West Coast.
That's exactly the thing. Is like, you know, especially when you trade and you know you get a bottle of IPA and you're like, cool, I'm really looking forward to this, and it's a giant malt bomb. It may have been an extra that was sitting in that dude's closet for 6 months.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
He's
and
like,
that's-
I have like 10 6-packs of this stuff. So I'm
that's
just gonna
kind of
throw
my
it.
experience
Yeah.
with Devil Dancer because I've had it before, but it was from a dude that got it on a trade that got it from wherever.
Retrading.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, yeah, I was like, yeah, it tastes okay, whatevs. But now having it, this one was like,
Fresh one's a whole other
yeah, like this is a
experience, yeah.
freaking really good beer. Like you don't get that off the trade. So, trade Imperial Russian stouts. Don't trade IPAs.
No, trade fresh IPAs.
Thank you.
Do your trading brethren
Okay,
a
fine.
favor.
Train
Trade
them
fresh.
that day, ship them the next day.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Helps
Or-
everybody out.
Yeah, don't let them sit in your closet for 6 months. But this is really nice. Yeah, I think you're right. It has a little bit more
this
floral
is
character, I think.
this is probably one of the better double IPAs I've ever had.
Yeah,
It's good.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
I want to drink this a lot. I may move to Michigan.
You can drink
You
too
might
much
have to
of
deal
it.
with that.
No more New Brew Thursday.
No, it'll be like
Skype.
New Brew Thursday from Michigan on
Without
Skype.
John.
What's up? I'm Skyping in.
You're gonna have like a bunch of screens of everyone's face. Everyone's just.
All right, moving on. What's next?
All right, moving on. I think we should go with the Farmhouse.
So stoked.
Go.
You think
Open
so?
it.
Oh yeah.
Do
I'm
it.
excited for this one.
This is a Farmhouse IPA, which I've never heard of before.
I figure it's just like they took the recipe and then used a saison yeast. It's
Yeah,
one
I'm
of those-
thinking like Belgian IPA.
Yeah. Well, like the with I think Farmhouse. I think saison specifically, and
Right.
which is
Thank
great because I'm a freak for saison. I love them.
I'm gonna pour an extra dose for you.
Yay!
That's a lot of hit.
That
I
is
gave
that's
Matt a lot of head.
That's a saison head
wow.
right there. Look at that.
Yeah, get the nose on it.
Oh yeah, baby.
That's nice.
It's got a lot of like.
I follow the
funk to it.
Randy
It does
Mosher
have
style of
funk to
pouring.
it.
Totally.
So it's I mean,
Oh dang!
I mean, it does say
Dang! This is like a
Belgian-
hoppy saison. That's awesome.
Well, it says Belgian style IPA, and Belgian style IPAs are not anything unusual.
Yeah.
No, but this is
But
not what
this
you get off a Belgian style
Yeah,
IPA.
this isn't
normally.
like any other Belgian IPA that I've had. Holy crap!
It's almost I brewed a saison just recently, and I kind of over hopped it and dry hopped it to kind of make it like an over hopped saison.
Right.
But I still wanted to keep some of that saison quality because the number
that-
one thing
that's-
about saison is the yeast.
That's all it is, and that's one of the great things about saison is that if basically a saison is a beer that uses saison yeast. I mean, you can do anything with a saison. They're black saisons, hot.
See, and I once told you that
Anything.
I thought saisons were a specific type of saison, and I didn't like other styles. I stand corrected right now.
Man, that's cool.
I am publicly giving Matt an apology right now.
Write it down.
I do not
out.
need to see. Oh, okay,
Mark that on
thank
your
you.
calendar.
But yeah, this has that really clean, light
Yeah, this is
saison
amazing.
smell to it.
People of
I
New
didn't think
Holland.
I'd drink it.
If you were
Just the
watching
nose
this
is
show,
really good on it.
Yeah.
if you're watching this show, New Holland, I wouldn't cry if a case of this appeared on my doorstep. Just throwing that out there. I'll send you money.
The great part is it'll end up on my doorstep too. So there's 2 people drinking it.
Even the drink on. I mean, it's
This is
perfect.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. This is an amazing. Like
I'm really.
when I saw this bottle, I was like, Farmhouse IPA.
Oh man.
Okay, I was like, okay, New Holland, whatevs.
So far,
now I'm like, this is
This is a
awesome.
really good beer.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's nice because it has like a really good balance. A lot of times you run into stuff like this and it's like really hoppy with a little bit of saison, or it's all saison with a little bit of hop. This is like it blends
perfect,
the
yeah.
two very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I think
very
this is
well
like
balanced.
so. And no offense to anybody else, I think this is my favorite beer so far.
It's like it's got a very clean finish, but you get some of that residual bitterness.
Yeah, it has
too.
that super dry saison thing.
Yeah.
And look at the head. That's still there.
That's a saison.
It's still there. It's got that kind of head where, look, if you move the glass, the head just stays where it's at.
That's like I'm not moving.
That's clinging.
I'm not moving.
Wow.
Hashtag that's clinging.
That's clinging.
Yeah, that's
This week's hashtag.
Yeah.
All right, so next we're gonna go into rye.
We might want to rinse this head out.
Yeah,
It's not going
all right, we'll
We're
rinse.
still
I guess we're gonna rinse. He wants to rinse. What else?
So we're gonna rinse.
I'm gonna pour the rest of this in my glass. Oh, you did not call me bitch.
Oh, I did
Totally
because
did.
yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
So continuing on with New Holland, we're gonna jump over to the rye because I'm a big fan of rye IPAs.
Oh yeah, we noticed that New Holland puts little quotes on top.
like
of
word
it.
poetry.
Yeah, exactly. And
need
we've
a-
discovered the best metal band name ever, which is Dragons of Precocious.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
We will be copywriting
So-
that name.
Yes.
Because me and Matt are starting a metal band called Dragons of Precocious.
It's gonna be the two of us, and this is gonna be us on acoustics.
Two basses.
Two bases.
Two acoustic basses.
Exactly. One of which has a shit ton of distortion.
Yes.
that is good.
This is what I love about rye IPA is the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much about the
This
aroma.
smells like the best car freshener ever.
I will just be dumping this into the carpets of my car.
What, officer? No, and I actually another reason I'm so stoked on this line is because they're like I'm a huge fan of like saison, which was obviously awesome. My second favorite thing, rye. I put rye in everything, and so
He does. I've had meals at his house. It gets really awkward. I'm like, dude, it's
Yeah.
asparagus. It does not need rye.
yeah, chicken parmesan so much better with rye.
No, I like the fact that the beer smells like the rye toast. Mm-hmm. You know,
It's
what I
got
mean?
it's got
like,
that signature spiciness,
Right.
It smells so good.
I also want to point out that I love the freaking labels that they have. Like, and if you've seen the pictures we've been posting, they're probably not. I want to do some individual bottle shots, which I will do later. But these labels are phenomenal. Whoever did the design work for this needs to be
Genius.
like pat on the back and
Yeah.
free beer
Dude,
for life.
you know what it reminds me of? It's kind of like old school gamer, but did any of you ever play American McGee's Alice? You guys remember that game? No. Dude, it was like this like third person.
The whole internet is shaking their head like, what?
No, but there were like three guys who were like, "Fuck yeah, I love that game." But no, it was like Alice
If
in
you've ever
Wonderland.
played that, send me an email, and the first 3 people that send me the email, you'll get a prize.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but you get something.
It would be a hug.
Probably like one person.
Yeah, but no, it's like
Hashtag Twitter hug.
yeah, it's like Alice in Wonderland, only creepy. But it was awesome, and
Excellent.
but going back to the beer, it's delicious.
Okay, so we're kind of barreling, and we got a barrel, but
Oh, you know what's? I think the
Black
labels get progressive, or the Mad Hatter changes with the style of beer.
yeah, definitely. Like this is like the Black Hatter. He's kind of gangsta.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna cut you.
Yeah,
And the rye.
he's also kind of slim.
The rye is kind of
ginger.
goofy.
Yeah,
He's like,
He's a ginger.
he's a ginger. Nice.
Even the oak.
All the gingers who watch our show, we love you. No hate.
the oak age.
We have never.
That's what it
Never. So
We've never.
precocious dragons, never of S.
Never of S. That's like a Game of Thrones thing.
But I like to say the oak age hatter, which is aged, is an old man,
Yeah.
old hatter.
That's some thought.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, good design.
Another one of my favorite styles of IPA is the black IPA.
This
This is amazing.
good.
I love the flavor profile in this. I will say, when we were going to do the show, I was a little bit worried because like I had never had any of these beers, and for all I knew, maybe they tasted really horrible.
Wow.
And it's like I don't want to do a show where I'm like drinking a beer. I'm like, I don't like this.
Does this
But these are freaking amazing beers.
Great.
does this taste like a red?
A red?
It has that like red flavor.
Yeah, it's
to
got
it.
a little bit of that that almost caramely kind of quality to the body.
Yeah, I can see that. Totally.
I smell caramel. Just
Yeah,
straight
this
on
is
the nose.
almost like because you on a typical black IPA, you're gonna get a little chocolate off of it. I don't get chocolate so much as I do caramel. Yeah, so I mean, I can totally see that. This is kind of like it's like my caramel bear.
There's a little bit of roastiness in the back.
Did you see your caramel there?
Yeah, it's my
I
caramel
was gonna
bear.
let it go. I was gonna let it go. Had to bring it back up.
If you're a Scrubs fan, you'll know what that reference is. But
It's like if you're drinking like a really good like that ground coffee that it's really good that you go to your local store
Yeah.
and you ground it and it's not too bitter. If you don't like, I'm not a big coffee person,
right.
but I went to like my local coffee shop and I just told them, give me whatever you have, and I can drink that forever. It's like
Yeah, it's
You know,
not. It's not too
along
like,
that line,
tasting.
I would say that this
Yeah.
is a perfect beer to give somebody who's like, oh, I don't like black beers. I only like pale ales, or I don't like, whatever. Like, this is a perfect beer to kind of like transition people into the idea that like you can get that coffee, that chocolatey
Yeah.
roastiness off of it.
Roasted,
yeah.
So far, a lot of the beers have been like good introductory beers to people that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah,
this is
something
a
different.
great selection of beers to give people that have never had an IPA before.
Yeah.
We're moving on to the oak aged, and this is the oak aged. It's aged. Old guy on the front, as Matt pointed out.
He's old.
Because he's smart that way. Whatever.
And again, this shows you IPAs don't necessarily have to be quote unquote
Thank you.
fresh.
True,
I mean, obviously,
absolutely,
if it's
yeah.
aged, it's not fresh.
Yeah, and when
it's
you
going
put
to take on different characteristics. You're going to get some wood character, depending on what kind of wood the barrel's made from.
You are definitely
where
gonna get
the
some wood
barrel came
character.
from.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
First thing you'll notice.
Oh yeah, that's got like serious vanilla.
Woo!
Serious
Oh, yeah.
vanilla action going on.
I like that a lot. I'm gonna turn these around for you again so you can see the cool.
New Holland is full of wind, man.
Seriously,
Right?
why are we not in Michigan?
Yeah.
I say we all move to Michigan.
Well, Michigan has.
no,
its
they just
issues.
need to start sending stuff out here.
I
Yeah,
call
yeah,
a
exactly.
show meeting to discuss the possibility of moving to Michigan. We'll discuss it at the meeting.
So about this beer.
For later. Okay. Anyway, this is awesome. This is aged in Kentucky barrels. It's like smooth. You get the wood character off of this. It's amazing. They dry hop this, so you get that aromatic hops off of it.
Oh my god, that's good.
Yeah,
this
nice.
is-
it's not like overly woody, but and you still get a lot of hop character, which I'm pretty surprised with. Like you would think if it ages for too long, then it would be, or for a while, then it would be like all malt and oak, but it's got a really nice balance. I gotta give it up to New Holland because I'm kind of like my mind's blown.
Yeah, seriously.
I am awkwardly hugging New Holland right now.
This,
Awkwardly hugging you.
Can I be New Holland? Just kidding.
No, not right now.
Oh.
I will say another thing I like about New Holland, and I want to throw this out to the other breweries that may be watching the show. New Holland puts pairing suggestions on their beer bottles.
Yeah.
That is full of win.
Another
Yeah.
company, I will not speak their name, also does that, and it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Because you're going through the store, maybe you are looking to pair something with food,
Yeah.
and if it's right on the bottle, it's
Yeah,
easy.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
Not
weird
e-
at that point.
Not everybody can have Dr. Bill on speed dial.
Yeah.
The oak age, this is going to be paired with smoked foods, tomatoes and beef.
I actually do want to just grab a tomato and just start eating it. Just by
That makes one of us.
I mean, the barrel on this just makes it so tasty.
Yeah, no, it's really nice barrel character. I mean, it's got that like wonderful woody, tannic vanilla kind of character.
I wish I could brew something like this. So we are going to rinse our glasses once again and come
Yes,
back
and
and
we'll be
move on
back.
to
Epic!
Speaking of epic,
Yeah, epic!
this beer is dead.
Nice.
All right,
This beer is dead, but it's coming back to life.
but it will chew your esophagus out.
So now we're gonna go into one of my favorite international breweries, which is Epic.
hops.
Hops need more hops. This is Hop Zombie. This is by far the best international IPA I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, this is New Zealand, right?
This
Yeah,
is New
that
Zealand.
is-
It's made from New Zealand hops.
And there's something magical about New Zealand hops. Like
This
you
is
ask-
a beer you can smell from half a room away.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Oh baby, yeah. Just ask Andrew Bell, winner of the New Brew Thursday homebrew competition,
Yeah.
about New Zealand hops
Oh yeah.
because they are magical.
Luke, I love you.
Oh my god, I smell this and I grit my teeth.
This has got such a powerful, wonderful aroma. Very citrusy. very grapefruit, very right in your face.
It has that like perfumey, almost like white wine kind of character that you get out of a lot of New Zealand hops. That's kind of like what they're famous for. You know, I'm also surprised at how pale it is.
Yeah, the clarity on this beer is amazing.
I was going to say that it's kind of a light-bodied beer that's super hoppy. I mean, what's the ABV on this? 8.5. This is 8.5.
It's a huge beer that drinks like a really small beer.
Look how clear. I mean, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but that is clear.
Yeah.
That's like a lager.
That's crystalline.
The bottom line is that like there's very few breweries outside of the West Coast that can reproduce a West Coast IPA style beer. Luke is one of those guys. Armageddon IPA, Epic, the Hop Zombie.
Oh.
Like all of his beers are so hop forward and so perfectly made that it's like, oh, how can you not love this beer?
Yeah, dude, New Zealand is killing it right now when it comes to craft beer.
And the sad thing is, like, you know, again, we talked about transport. This is the worst example of that. Like, by the time Armageddon IPA shows up on the shelves in the U.S. or Epic Hop Zombie shows up, it's died.
Like, we have the mule.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that you figure, you know, everyone has their local beer store. You know, they have that one store that they frequent all the time. And I figure, you know, you walk in and all of a sudden, bam, epic beer on the shelves. Snap it up.
Right.
Because
I'm not saying it's
To be honest,
even after all the transport, it's still a great beer.
Yeah.
I bought Armageddon from High Time Wine Cellar in Newport. And
Shout out.
yeah, shout out.
Love that place.
We're still in the Hopcast.
Shout out to the Outcast. Woo!
But it was just as good as the ones we got fresh from David.
All right.
So-
I will say that, like, you
And
know,
I'm not saying
because
that is going to be
we
typical.
kind of have a connection. I have a good friend of mine who mules me out beer.
And ours.
David A330. Follow him on Twitter if you'd like. And
Talk smack.
I've gotten so spoiled by having, like, he's like, oh, here's some Armageddon IPA that was bottled yesterday.
Literally.
Oh my God, thank you. Like, I will kiss you. He's like, no, don't kiss me, please.
No, it's like, nah, let it sit for a week.
Yeah, he's like, here's some beer. Let this settle for a couple of days. It needs to age. And I'm like, oh, no. We're opening this right now.
This just totally just, like, destroys your tongue.
Yeah. And again,
It's so lively and bright and like.
this is a perfect example of breweries going the extra mile to get us this beer. Epic made sure that there was a person who could get this beer flown into us. It was dropped off at a hotel. I put on my secret agent glasses and my decoder ring and went and picked this beer up. Like, it was, there was a lot of work involved in getting us this beer. So thank you very much for that. And as always, Epic, you freaking rule.
Yeah,
If you find
very
this
good.
on the shelf, though, it's totally
Buy
worth
it. Yeah, buy it.
Like,
Absolutely.
Dude.
yeah.
It might not be as fresh as what we have, but it's still gonna be right.
Oh my god, it's an awesome beer.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, lastly, we're going to go into the West Coast side of things. We're going to do that in just a moment.
From
And
Los Carl Strauss.
Carl Strauss, one of my favorite brewers, and Ryan Ross, one of the founders of IPA Day. So, get a shout out to him. We're going to be doing the Tower 10 and the Boardwalk Black Rye IPA in just a moment.
Let's do it.
Rinsing.
nice.
Carl Strauss is on the West Coast. It represents all that is good and fine about the West Coast. We've done a couple of Carl Strauss shows. We did Parrot and Palm Tree, which is still my favorite Baltic Porter to date.
Yeah.
They've released a few different, like, they're kind of getting kind of funky with some of their beers. They're doing like they did their Red Bear, but it's like off the rails red.
That's like the beefed up red trolley. They did the Black Ball Belgian IPA,
Yeah, which was really good,
I
actually,
really
yeah.
enjoyed. Yeah, they've been doing a really great job lately with like the specialty things they've been putting out.
So we're gonna start off with their Boardwalk Black Rye.
Are we sure we want to start with that? Because that might
Yeah,
be-
because then we can finish late.
Yeah,
I don't know. That you know how I feel about rye beers.
I know, like, John's gonna get very excited.
And he did.
I'm okay with
I
that.
did it.
Fine.
you did.
We won't save the best for last.
No, I like Tower 10, but I want to finish. I want to finish light because, you know, this has been a lot of beers on the show.
Yeah,
this is
It's been a
by
lot of
far the
awesome.
most epic New Brew Thursday of all time.
Yeah, totally.
yeah, definitely. I'm getting a lot more pine off of this beer than I have the rest of them. The other beers that we've had have stuck to more like, you know, citrus floral kind of, and this seems to be more of that like pine, which you get a lot of, like, you know, West Coast beers are like really pine.
Right,
you know?
right.
But it's got the rye. It's got the
I like
rust.
the. I love the way that rye affects the nose.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, it's got that nice spiciness, and the spice plays really well with that chocolate coffee notes. It's funny because comparing this one to the other black IPA that we had, this seems to be more, I don't know, black forward.
You're right. You get a lot more of the chocolate. You get a lot more of what makes this a black IPA than you do off of some of the other ones. And I give them credit for this. This is because Karl Strauss is kind of known for standard beers, if that makes any sense.
Amber Lager, that's their
Right, it's like you go into a random pizza place and you're gonna probably find Karl Strauss on tap.
Yeah.
It's one of those beers that's kind of everywhere. You don't expect a lot out of them, but then they create stuff like this and Parrot and a Palm Tree, and it's like, wow, oh my god.
The Big Barrel Double IPA.
Right,
IPA.
they've been doing some really, really phenomenal beers.
I don't know much of their old history, just because I'm pretty much new to the craft beer scene now at this point, 2 to 3 years.
I was gonna say, we've been doing the show for almost 2 years now. You're not new anymore.
Dr. Bill standards,
Right,
I'm younger than most of these guys.
Right, but I mean, for the most part, I don't know their history,
No.
and everything I've seen them put out, or everything I've had that they've put out, has been really, really good.
Yeah, it's really solid.
And I'm surprised they don't have a bigger following outside of California than they are.
Well, I don't think they're really widely distributed outside of California. I mean,
Maybe
they're
they're
really
not. Maybe
huge
that's
in California,
Yeah.
but I don't think they really get outside that
But
boundary.
they should really be a brewery that's sought after.
Yeah.
They really do nowadays make some really good beer.
Yeah, it's really solid.
It's very notable and delicious.
Yeah.
beer.
Well, the Off the Rails Red Trolley was really, really, really good. This is another one of my favorite black IPAs, and that's kind of a IPA style that is really getting a lot of play now. A lot of brewers are starting to make IPAs, and I think Karl
It's a
Strauss
great-
did a really good job with it.
It's one of my favorite styles of beer. I mean,
Yeah.
Stone's Sublimely Self-Righteous. I mean,
You want to know something funny? Actually, when
that's a staple for me.
when Stone released the Sublime Self-Righteous as 11th anniversary, that was literally my craft beer epiphany beer.
Oh.
That was the beer where I was like, craft beer, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Devoted.
This craft beer that you speak of, I will buy into this
Black
concept.
IPAs are one of those beers, you get the best of both worlds. You get a super hoppy beer, but you get a lot of that, the dark malt character. You get...
It's almost like, yeah.
It's but I think it's also a beer you have to work your way into.
Right.
There are a lot of layers.
It's like
Give them
an IPA and an Imperial Russian Stout met in a bar, and they kind of hit it off, and then they went home, and they're like,
And they made something
sweet
awesome.
love.
Got
and
into-
they're
got into a van,
this was their baby. It's like,
yeah.
oh, right on. This is the love child, and I will drink it all day
The
long.
love child of it.
Yeah. So
I really think it's a very versatile...
Illegitimate.
the illegitimate love
I
child.
think it's legitimate at this point.
Yeah, it's legit now.
Yeah.
So, lastly, before I pass out and fall over, we are going to do Tower 10's IPA, and
It's
again,
actually Karl Strauss's Tower 10 IPA. So,
what did I say?
you said Tower 10's IPA.
Well, Tower 10.
Tower 10 is not a brewery.
Well,
Now, if you've never been to,
this many beers, we can forgive that. I think.
yeah,
We
seriously.
have.
If you've never
just a
been
few.
to the West Coast, you've never been to the beaches on the West Coast. Tower 10 is in reference to the lifeguard towers, lifeguard towers that are on the beach because they're all numbered, and so you kind of gauge where you're at on the beach by the lifeguard tower number.
Kind of like you're
I'm gonna
parked.
stop talking now and just start pouring.
It's kind of like you're parked in Mickey 3,
Exactly.
you're in Tower 10,
Somehow you floated over to Tower 10.
And again, this is a very standard IPA, and it's a well crafted. This is one of their staple beers.
6.5%. I mean, it's their standard IPA.
Yeah.
Right.
Again,
And
very pine forward, I think.
very pine forward. It's very balanced. It's very easy to drink. It's a phenomenal IPA. It's a great example of this style.
That's really nice. Yeah, super clean.
I mean, because I'm gonna say right now, on the West Coast, we're used to the uber hoppy West Coast IPAs, and the beers that are here's some hops, slap right in your face, right?
They're super.
Those
dry.
are not necessarily in the standard of what an IPA is.
Right.
And this follows the standard guidelines of an IPA almost exactly.
Well, I kind of got into that earlier, and I never really got to finish. But there are West Coast IPAs. There's East Coast IPAs. there's like South Coast IPAs. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
There's Mid Arizona Phoenix IPAs.
Every region has their own interpretation of an IPA at this point.
Yeah.
Montana
It started out as a beer that was just okay. This is this way because we have to make it this way
Right.
to survive the trip. And now it's like, no, I love hops, and so I'm going to take this beer and I'm just going to flood it with hops.
Right.
And that's the West Coast.
Yeah.
East Coast. I'm going to take this beer. I'm going to make it super bitter. It's going to be floral. It's going to be nice and balanced with the malt. English, it's just all these different interpretations of an IPA.
Yeah, well, it's really nice because, like, especially in Europe, I mean, you have, like, Pilsner, and there are so many regional interpretations of Pilsner, and it's almost like the U.S. is like that with IPA, where you can go anywhere in the U.S. and have an IPA, and it's going to be different no matter where you go. It has that, like, regional stamp on it.
You shouldn't have the same expectations from maybe region to region, but even from brewery to brewery.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because every brewery is, even if you're on the West Coast, you might run into a brewery that says, you know what, I like West Coast IPAs, but I want to make my IPA more in this style.
I want to be a little bit maltier, or
Right. That's the beauty of IPAs.
Yeah.
Well, and
That's
that's
also what was cool about what we did tonight. I mean, you have several different sides of it. West Coast, Midwest, whatever you want to call it, and then you have
Farmhouse.
international.
You got the
Yeah.
doubles,
Yeah.
the triples.
Yeah, you have every different
Farmhouse,
style
Imperial.
of IPA
Yeah.
from every different region, including international with Epic, and then it just
And they're all
every single
delicious.
one of them was Epic,
Yeah.
right? In the end, they all had their own style to it.
well, I just have to
Characteristics.
say that IPA day for the win.
Yeah.
This is the greatest day ever. I can't wait till next August
I think we
4th.
gotta cheers to that.
Cheers to the IPA day. Cheers to all the breweries that were involved with that.
Thank you to everyone who did this.
I think
This was
because
awesome.
there were more than just what we have here. There were a lot more of the breweries that were involved with it. There's a lot of breweries today that are doing events. Look around online for events today.
Local pubs.
Yeah, local pubs. A lot of all over the country. I'm seeing events. I know in our area, Stone's doing an event. Carl Strauss is doing an event. There's a North Park Beer Crawl event that's going on. There's a ton of stuff happening today for IPA Day. Get involved with it. If nothing else, drink an IPA. Cheers to IPA Day. And as always, stay safe and drink beer.
Drink IPA.
My heart was amazing.
We'll give it a lick. It tastes just like raisins.